Hi, DC exclusive artist Kean Thornby here. You're listening to the All-Star Superfan podcast.
We talk Superman, and we know what's happening. We talk Superman, and we cover everything.
Hello and welcome back to All-Star Superfan, the podcast that celebrates Superman in all of his many live-action, animated and occasionally very rubbery 1990s forms. I'm Alan Burke and today we are diving into part 2 of our epic no-holds-barred ranking of every live-action Superman suit. Now, if you haven't listened to part 1 yet, what are you doing here? Seriously, go back, check it out. We'll be here when you get back to us. It's full of great discussion, friendly debates, and at least one glaring omission, so sincere apologies to Gerard Christopher's Sovereign suit. But if you're still with us here, joining me once again is my co-host, my friend, and a man with very strong opinions about the appropriate size of an S-shield, Rob O'Connor. And because ranking Superman costumes is serious business, we've brought in backup, Rob's best friend and Superman superfan in his own right, Parker Johnston. Now before we get started, a quick heads up. Due to some minor unavoidable technical difficulties, Rob's audio in this episode is a little below its usual standard. Think Lex Luthor hacking into a TV broadcast in Superman 4 rather than Jor-El's crystal clear Fortress of Solitude wisdom in Superman the movie. We apologise for this and assure you that Rob is still completely understandable, even if he does occasionally sound like he's trapped in the Phantom Zone. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. Every live action Superman suit ranked. Who reigns supreme? Who deserves to be hurled into the sun? Let's find out. So, now, back to the serious matters. Brandon Routh, Superman Returns 2006, designed by Louise Mingenbach. Custom knit fabric with slight sheen, small raised S-shield, heavy almost leather cape, dark almost burgundy red, calf-high boots, littered with tiny shields and an S-shield buckle. We all remember where we were when the first images of this suit came out. I remember just not liking it at all. It came up. I didn't like the colour. I really, straight away, as soon as it loaded up on the screen back in 2006, I remember thinking it looked as if they were doing the Superman 3 Evil Superman in this movie. The colours were the same. The S was way too small, I thought. I didn't like the burgundy reds, almost brown colours in some shots. I thought it was absolutely over designed with S's everywhere. S's on the soles of his boots. There's S's on the fabric of his suit. There's S's on his belt. Really didn't like this one. Now it has grown on me over time. But that was just my initial. I still don't love it, but it has grown on me a little bit over time. Rob, what do you think of the Superman Returns suit?
Yeah, I feel like I was one of the people that defended it back in the day, but I think if you really sat me down and put a gun to my head, even back then, you'd be like, Rob, do you actually like this, or do you just want to like it? And yeah, I think I just wanted to like it. I just don't know what they were thinking. I think Bryan Singer and the man is a problematic individual to talk about in this day and age. But like, if we divorce ourselves from all of that behavior in real life and just talk about his movies, one thing that he consistently gets weirdly wrong is just costumes. I think the only superhero costumes I like from any of his movies are probably actually the weird leather jacket X-Men costumes from and a lot of that is probably nostalgia. Like, I know a lot of people hated those even back then and still hate them to this day. Like the suits in X-Men Apocalypse are so bad. They're so bad. And like I'm not really a big fan of the ones from Days of Future Past either. I know some people like them. I like Magneto's costume in Apocalypse shares a lot of like design features with this Superman costume, I think, and I don't get what he was going for. Like, yeah, I like the blue. You know, the blue is about right. I actually do like the little S's on the fabric. I think that's fun. I just think that the S on the belt buckle is overkill. It's like you're just seeing two S's like at once in the image, and it just doesn't really work. I think sometimes in motion the kind of flappy leathery cape, fruit roll up cape as Zach calls it, like sometimes that works. And yeah, sometimes the S looks bigger in some shots, but like, why did the S need to be so small? I don't And like it's not even small in like a Joe Schuster way. It looks like a pizza slice. It's just I don't know. And then Brandon Red's hair, like Brandon Red's a handsome man. He looks the part, and then they just fucked up his hair so badly. Like there's so much wrong with this. And when we get to the other Brandon Red costume later on, like I mean, it just goes to show how much was wrong with this original one. You know. I don't hate it, but it's just as Michael Bailey constantly makes fun of me for saying it's aggressively fine. Is what I'd say. It's just so utterly mediocre. Like, and it didn't need to be. Like, you know, they really could have gone for a big swing with this, and that they didn't. Yeah, I'm confused to this day.
Parker, what do you think?
Boy, where to begin on this? Like, I think okay, so I spent so much time as a teenager in the 2000s, like elaborately deconstructing this suit online that it haunts me. Like literally, like I didn't get my driver's license till I was in my 20s. And when I think back on like putting it off, literally the first thing I think of is like, Jesus Christ, I was putting so much time and effort into huge debates about that awful Superman Returns costume when I should have been out there learning how to drive at that age. And anyway, this is about the worst there is for me. This is like there are other costumes that are less faithful and bad, and I think they don't bother me as much because they don't make a mockery of the Superman costume the way this one does for me. Because this one is like on paper, a lot of it is almost a faithful costume, and then it's just sort of in practice like the least flattering version of all of that. And it also like unlike like the it's a bird, it's a plane costume. All the sloppy, campy spandex ones, like those look terrible, but they're earnest in the fact that they're just like these cheap rayon costume department things, and it almost adds to the fun that it's like the most powerful hero in the world is wearing this flimsy spandex costume because he doesn't need it because he's Superman. If you were in the real world of Superman and he showed up wearing the 70s stage play costume and bullets were bouncing off him and he was lifting a tanker trailer out of a gas fire, it would be like, wow, it's so cool looking at that suit. With this, the Superman Returns costume looks incredibly expensive. It's so over designed. It's like leather and plastic and fabric. I'll try to narrow it down. Like the biggest issue by far for me is the colors. It's not just that like the reds are dark, which is already an issue. It's that they're brown, they're desaturated. The yellow is like just like in some shots it looks like just like this pale kind of Dijon mustard, like, and in others it's like this dark, almost orangey yellow, which looks really bad against the dark brown of the S around it. Um, in the first photo of it, and in many shots throughout the film, it just looks like a rainy day. I don't know why they did this. They
Yeah.
took this photo, I guess, on a rainy day at the set, but lots of shots of the movie are like that. Metropolis is this grim, rainy place in that film, and Superman himself weirdly reflects it instead. Like that, it would have been an opportunity to do that kind of city and have Superman look like this bright, colorful ray of sunshine come back after 5 years, but they didn't. I like and yeah, lots of people defended it at the time, looking like it's like, oh, it's like the Fleischer cartoons, it's like the darker thing, and like no, it's muddy. It's the quintessential kind of ashamed, like worst of both worlds, where it looks really dorky because it's the Superman costume, and instead of it being an opportunity to do something with it, to own it or something, it's shied away. It's dark. The S, like Rob said, it's really tiny, almost like a badge. Like it's like, oh, I'm sorry for being Superman. Here's just like a little Superman shield. The S on the belt buckle, I've never been a fan of. Like it's like a detail a child would add, like a child that doesn't get that like more isn't better. Like so it looks it's like the two S's, especially because the one on the chest is so small. It's not that much bigger than the belt buckle one. The boots are dark and wrapped in a weird, like I wouldn't have a problem with the shape of the boots in any other context, but like we've seen photoshopped versions of this costume that make all these problems go away. They make the red bright, they make the shield bigger, they make the S on the belt buckle just a solid pentagon, and it immediately looks way better. But aside from all that, like the shorts are too short. The collar is too high. The cape being made of this like leather type fabric, like it's that cheap thing where it's like pleather because the outside of the cape is like this dark red and the inside is this light red fabric. And I always encounter that when I'm finding like pleather garments where it's like this like denim kind of fabric on the inside. And it's cheap. It makes it feel like the outside of the cape is going to start flaking off. And this was also the big introduction of live action Superman capes not having the S shield on the back at all.
Yeah.
That's something I hate. I've alluded to it in earlier discussions, and I'm sorry, I'll wrap this up soon because like this is one of my biggest soapbox. Whenever those Reddit threads come up where it's like, what topic could you go on and on about for an hour for $10,000? Like this is always what comes to mind for me, as pathetic as that is. But like, Superman capes without the gold S on them, like without any S, to me look like a bootleg Superman costume from a costume shop that was too cheap to have the S. Or they just look like a Superman knockoff character from like a, oh, it's Sunman, or it's, some knockoff Superman type character. Anyway, so all of that and the leathery, rubbery quality of the cape, I think, looks really bad in all the CGI shots. Like that might have been why they did it, to sort of make it look more like CGI when he's floating in space. But anyway, this is my least favorite Superman costume of all time. It's the only one out of all of these that very significantly diminishes the enjoyment of the material. Like whenever I rewatch that film, like that film's a very mixed bag. I've had lots of different feelings over it all the years, but in general, I've got a lot of goodwill towards it, and I like it a lot more than the films we've gotten since. But the big thing for me is just that I find the costume just so unappealing and unenjoyable to watch. And even when playing the video game adaptation of this one, it just sucks. Like the dark purpley cape, and like as soon as I unlocked the Golden Age suit with the bright red cape, I permanently played in that one in the game.
And not to mention that this version of Superman is meant to be a continuation of the Christopher Reeve Superman, and this is
well,
you know what I mean.
No, it's not.
It's meant to be.
It's meant to be. Yeah.
It could have been a great opportunity to update the Christopher Reeve suit to a more 2000s aesthetic, and they completely abandoned that. This has nothing in common with the Christopher Reeve suit in any way, shape, or form.
It never made any sense for that exact reason. Like people said, like, oh, you just wanted the Christopher Reeve suit again. That would have been more appropriate in this case as the sequel, but also like exactly like what you say, at the very least, make it feel like something that the Chris Reeve Superman would have plausibly worn after coming back. And like, I think this suit is hardcore an Alien one that was like printed by his crystal ship in that film. And that's why it has all the little S's, like the microscopic ones all over the blue. Those are cool details, and it feels kind of Raimi Spider-Man costume inspired, with like the really detailed raised webs and all that. But it just, the colors, the darkness, it's so unflattering. You feel so bad for Brandon Routh in it, because like he was, at the end of the day, a really good choice. They gave him this costume that made him look thinner and smaller than he is, and they gave him like the Ken doll hair, makeup, corkscrew, spit curl, lipstick, like shoe polish, the works. They really did him dirty. I think it did a big disservice to his career. I'm sure like he must have looked at Henry Cavill and just thought like, oh man, like why couldn't they have made me look like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, awful costume. I don't know if we can give zeros on this show, but I mean, no, it's not a zero. It's still like, on paper, the basic elements are there, but it's definitely a 1, and it is my least favorite. Yeah.
Rob, where would you rank it?
It's a 2 for me. I mean, there are some positives to it. I do like the shade of blue, and I think sometimes in motion it looks okay. It's a 2.
That's our first 2 of the night. I agree. I have serious issues with it. I think it's a 2, a mild-mannered thread. Yeah, so we won't go too far from Brandon Routh. We're going to talk about the pod suit. Now, this wasn't seen in the actual movie, really. You see, I suppose when he falls into Martha's arms, maybe you get a very quick glimpse of it.
Yes, that's true.
Off-white sleek bodysuit with matching small S shield, no cape, also designed by Louise Mingenbach. Any thoughts on this, guys?
No major thoughts. Just weird. The weird that it's grey and not black. Like missed opportunity there. Like I don't. Again, I just don't know what they were going for. Like it just looks so odd. You can't really see the detail of it. If it had been black, you would have seen that silver S so much better, and it would have been a nice nod to the comics. So I've no idea what they were going for with this. It's fun to play as in the game because it doesn't have a cape, so you get to sort of see the animation of him flying a little bit more. But that's the only reason I have any affection for it at all, to be honest.
Parker?
Yeah, I actually I quite like this one. I think like especially like when you watch the full deleted scene Return to Krypton thing where it's in the ship, it's really well lit. It's like a pale gray and it's got the high collar of like I think the idea here was sort of something closer to what you see Jor-El and Lara and the Council wearing on Krypton in the Christopher Reeve movie, but it's just matte gray instead of lit up white. I actually would have loved if this had been like that dazzling white of the Krypton outfits. That would have been really cool. But I remember like very vividly there was an interview like about this costume. I think before the film even came out, maybe but, like where Singer or somebody involved said like, yeah, this would have been the equivalent of like a business suit on Krypton. So he's like coming home wearing formal wear, and that's why it's got the higher collar and anyway, yeah, like there's not a lot to be said, but I really like this one. I played in the game with it all the time. Like 'cause there were only two variant costumes in the Superman Returns game. There was this one and there was the Golden Age Action Comics suit. And
So crazy.
yeah, like ridiculous. They really didn't want to give you the option to just play in the classic Superman suit. They're like, you want the classic suit, you get the Superman Returns version. But anyway, but yeah, in the game it was really cool. Like I felt like playing like some sort of Alan Moore Miracle Man type superhero, especially when you'd fly up to the sun to recharge wearing this suit. It also reminded me in Flashpoint, like it's kind of like the white bodysuit that they find the emaciated alternate universe Superman wearing when he's been locked in a chamber and never seen the sun. So I always loved playing in this costume, flying up to the sun. When I was replaying the game, 10 years later, flying up to the sun and charging up just like that, and then doing a huge blast of heat vision. And anyway, yeah, so it's cool. In a better film, like with lots of different looks and facets to it, this would be a neat little curio. So yeah, right, and I guess it still is.
Would we say maybe straight down the middle 3 for this?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I've got like a 4 in fondness for it because it's one of the nicer looking elements, I think, of that whole Strange production.
So moving on, Man of Steel 2013, Henry Cavill, one of the better known Superman suits in the history of all Superman suits by this point. Designed by Michael Wilkinson, Kevlar based material gives it an armoured chainmail look, intricate patterns, raised stylized S-shield, deep reds and dark blues, floor-length cape, no trunks, and more of a design element in lieu of an actual belt, knee-high boots. Rob, talk to me about the Henry Cavill OG Man of Steel 2013 suit.
Yeah, so I really like this one, actually. I think it's great, and this image doesn't really do it justice, but like, depending on how it's lit in a scene, sometimes it can be really, really dark, and it can almost look black, but then other times when you light it really vividly and brightly, it does look like Superman. It looks like vividly blue, and it has that same kind of shimmering glow to it that I loved so much about the Dean Cain one. Yes, it doesn't have trunks, but I think it's broken up nicely enough with the kind of silvery alien accents in it and the little button belt buckle thing that they have. It looks a little bit odd. Maybe it won't age as well as we think it will, and it probably is missing a little just touch of red in the middle section there. But the S shield is gorgeous. It's so nice. Like it's that real Earth 2 kind of Silver Age Earth 2 looking S with the top part of it is sort of hanging to both sides of the Pentagon, if you get me. And yeah, no, across the board the boots look great. I like those cuffs they added to it. I like the way the cape meets the shoulders. The cape is long, but I can already hear you say that the cape is too long. I really, really like the cape on this. Across the board, it's one of my favorite things about that whole era of Superman is I was really, really fond of the costume. Yeah, no, the top marks for me. I really, really like the Henry Cavill costume. I'll say that.
And we've spoken at length about our feelings towards the Snyder verse and that depiction of Superman and all that kind of stuff. I have to say, I think this is a beautiful Superman suit as well. Like the feel of it, it's almost like a wetsuit kind of material, plastic, but in a good way. I criticized the Brandon Routh main Superman Return suit earlier on for having too much kind of intricate detail on it, but it really works here. All that kind of Kryptonian symbols and stuff that are kind of incorporated into it. I really find it gives it that regal feel. The only criticism I would really have is I would have liked a little bit more color in those designs that kind of come around his waist. Maybe if they had been kind of a gold or a red color as well. In this image, I'm not a fan of the long cape. I think it looks like he's stepping on a curtain. But at the same time, I can understand why this version requires that long kind of regal cape. I think it would suit it better than something short. I still think that's too long. I mean, his cape is just going to be destroyed. He's just going to be walking on it the whole time. Overall, yeah, I think it's absolutely stunning. Parker, what do you think?
This one's gone kind of up and down for me as well. Like I totally agree with Rob that the design of the S shield unique to this series is great. I think the day the costume first came out, or the photo first came out, I think I specifically said, like, yeah, even the S is wrong in all the right ways, where it looks like an alien glyph. This film put a ton of effort into the whole alien lore thing and did different shit like crests for every family and all that. And yeah, anyway, so but like overall, like it's a bit too dark and drab for my taste. Like there's lots of shots where it just kind of looks black in the lighting of the film. But even that, I think an interesting kind of choice that film made is that the suit looks different colors from scene to scene, and from kind of like it's in some shots it is very like bright red, and in others it's black, and it sort of changes based on the flavor of the current scene. And that there's a lot to be said for that. I think that's a really cool idea for the Superman costume. Overall, what I really miss the trunks. The belt kind of being worked into it is kind of cool. I'm not a big fan of the cuffs. Like that's kind of Las Vegas for me. The boots are perfect. The costume overall though, like it is it's not a detriment to the film at all. You look at it and it's like, oh yeah, that's Superman. If I like that portrayal of the character and those movies a lot better, like it would be like, yeah, the suit doesn't detract from that. It's a really good like alien printed one. Like in terms of like that theme we keep talking about, homemade versus alien. This looks in a credible way, like it was generated in an alien spaceship to fit him perfectly. And it's a tough fabric, but it doesn't look like armor. That's a bit we haven't always talked about that. Like, yeah, like I've said a few times, like I love it when the costume looks like completely flimsy, normal cloth, and it's clear that when bullets are bouncing off this guy, it's because of him and his aura and all that, and not because the costume is doing the heavy lifting. So as non-fabric costumes look, like it's pretty cool, it's subtle. I think this is the best attempt at reimagining the Superman suit and making it look cool. Like of all these, best at the time and best ever since. And yeah, like that has almost never been done well. This did it well, where it's like it still feels like the Superman costume. I would give it a 4, but they so easily could have had just a big gold version of that shield or any version of that S on the cape, and instead they did nothing. It's a plain cloth cape that drops it to a 3 for me. But I don't have a lot of ill will otherwise. It was definitely a totally legitimate attempt at doing a really kick-ass, widely appealing Superman costume. So respect for that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 4 for me. Actually, the yellow on the cape is a thing, and I think just the lack of red in the midsection. I think it really would have broken it up nicely, and you'll actually see in the Shazam version, which Henry Cavill himself did not wear. It was just some stand-in, but they subtly redesigned it and they did add a bit of red into the midsection, and it worked perfectly. So yeah, no, but this particular Man of Steel one gets a 4 for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think a 4. There are some things that I would like to tinker with or whatever. The cape is a big thing for me, but overall, I just think it looks great on screen. We'll give it a 4. Next up, we have Henry Cavill's black suit from the Justice League movies. Primarily black with subtle metal sheen, more minimalist, silver S-shield, black cape with matte black boots, again designed by Michael Wilkinson Parker. What do you think about this one? As black suits go, this is our second black suit?
Yeah. I think I'll have the least to say about this of any suit. I've still never seen Justice League, either cut. Because I was just sort of soured on the whole Snyder verse by then and just couldn't be arsed. So I've never seen this suit on screen or in motion or anything. I think it's a pretty cool adaptation of the Resurrection suit, and with the silver cape, that's pretty cool. The main thing is just it feels like a miracle that we made it out of the 2010s without black suit Superman having become the new norm, given everything else that went on that decade, so many things by the end of it had gone to the dark side. And I think the Superman costume, I think there was probably a big faction that wanted to make that the new permanent mainstream version of Superman. And so I'm glad it didn't take off. But yeah, it looks cool for what it is. I've never been a fan of the Resurrection suit. I almost can't give this one a rating, but it would be I don't know, a 3, just because it's a better version of the Resurrection suit than the Dean Cain version, which I think I gave it 2. So I don't know.
No, I don't like this. So it's not a black cape; it's a silver cape on silver boots. And the black suit in the comics did not have a cape at all, and I thought that was kind of a cool, interesting change that they made. It made it a cool, unique design. It also had a thigh belt because it was the 90s, and that's what we did in the 90s. It also had an exquisite mullet. Nothing about this is unique except that it's black. And in the context of the film, in the story of the film, we never get an explanation for why he's wearing a black suit. I mean, you can assume that, oh, well, the sun, it'll hit him better if he's wearing black. No, they don't say it. It's just, and they did this whole thing about, Kal-El trying to summon the lessons he's learned from both fathers, Jor-El and Kevin Costner, and, he's becoming his own man. All fine, but why does that lead him to picking a black suit? I just no. There's nothing unique. There's nothing different about this. It's just literally the existing suit but painted black, and I just think that's lazy and just edgy for the sake of it, and everything I don't like about this particular era. I've yet to hear a compelling argument as to why this is an interesting choice for the film, other than that it's cool and badass and edgy, and that's a huge part of why I don't like those films. So yeah, no, I don't like this, and I think that other black suits are better than this.
What are you giving it out of 5?
2. It's perfectly professional, but just uninspired, completely uninspired.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think, to be honest with you, for everything you said, I couldn't believe that they didn't address the fact. Now, again, is that really a criticism of the suit itself, that they didn't address it really in the film? Is it?
Yeah, it is. Context is key. We talked at length about how the Lois and Clark suit is good because of the context provided by the series. You can't ignore that.
Yeah, no, I agree. 2 mild-mannered threads. Next up, we've got Henry Cavill's Batman versus Superman suit. More textured appearance, darker in colour, more prominent S-shield, more of an armour feel, darker cape, more metallic belt, rectangular buckle. So, Parker, anything to say on this one compared to the Man of Steel version?
Yeah, I actually forgot how much of a difference there was. I definitely forgot about the switch to a rectangular belt buckle like Dean Cain. But yeah, it's all coming back to me now. It's a tough one. I think I like the Man of Steel suit better. I think the color shift in this one, the red has more blue in it. It's closer to that kind of cool purpley side of the spectrum. The yellow is a paler gold. The muscle texture is weird and faker looking, almost like an H.R. Geiger kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a downgrade. It's a slight downgrade of the BVS suit. Of the Man of Steel suit. So everything I said about that still applies. It kind of looks like they added an extra sort of filigree to the top of the boots. The M-shaped part has the outline from the comics. So points for that. That's pretty good. A very subtle, slight downgrade from the Man of Steel suit. Not enough to take it off. It's a 3. If they'd added the gold S cape or cape S in this one, it would have taken it up to a 4, but c'est la vie. So yeah.
I assume that I know the S shield isn't always kind of in vogue, but I assume that was maybe a CGI thing that they, just to save them the hassle of that. Maybe. What are you thinking?
They've always said that, but like Parker made the point before that it's like with CGI, you make the model and then you only have to animate it. Like, or you make the model once, so everything after that is just animating the model. So why is it an issue? I guess it's that because it's yellow, it would just look fake. Your eye would be drawn to it.
Case in point, like I rewatched Aladdin, the original 1992 Aladdin recently, and that was a thing where the flying carpet is one of the CGI effects, and that like 90% hand drawn film, but there are lots of like clear CGI elements in it. And I watched the making of after, and yeah, the animators point out that that was the first sort of CGI character in a Disney movie, and that's why the carpet has this incredible elaborate Arabian pattern all over both sides of it. And they were like, and that was great. Like we knew that there was no way to do that over and over in every frame. So it's a CGI thing, and you just slap the texture on, and all they animated by hand were the tassels on the four corners of the carpet. So yeah, that argument has never made any sense to me. Outside of like it, like I don't have any ill will towards it for hand drawn Superman cartoons. There's no Cape S in Superman the animated series. I think it's a drag. Like it would have been nice if there was at least a solid one on there, but like it was hard enough just getting the S logo on model and that. So fair enough for stuff like that, but I've never understood it as a CGI element. Like yeah, like they're doing whole animated faces with skin and pores and things like that. You can have an S shield on a cape.
Rob, what are you giving the Batman versus Superman suit?
Yeah, I basically agree with Parker. I think it's mostly as good as the Man of Steel one. Maybe a slight downgrade. I think the S is slightly smaller in a bad way. I do kind of find the rectangular S or the rectangular belt buckle interesting, and a small detail, you can't see it in this photo, but there's an actual S in the belt buckle, but it's a lot more subtle than the Superman Returns one. So yeah, I'm gonna. It feels wrong giving it a 3 because I like it more than that. I also like how the yellow on the S shield looks sort of silvery in some scenes. I think that's just a nice color choice. And I like that Henry Cavill actually has a spit curl in a lot of this movie. I'll give it a 3, but a very reluctant 3. It's almost a 4.
Perfect. We're on the home stretch, guys. Tyler Hoechlin. The first suit we're going to cover is his Supergirl initial suit. Tyler Hoechlin, suit 1, Arrowverse initial appearance from circa 2016. Heavily padded, dark muted colours, floor length cape attached to shoulders with visible gold clasps. No trunks. I looked up the costume designer for this episode, and she was listed as Erin Curtay. I actually had a quick chat with our friend Alan Mallinger to see if he knew exactly who designed the suit, but unfortunately he didn't. So I just said possibly Erin Curtay there as the designer of this suit. Parker, what do you think of the initial Tyler Hoechlin suit?
This one's always been kind of a shame for me. It was really exciting when like they announced they were doing full-blown live-action Superman on Supergirl. This was the first TV live-action Superman in like 20 years, I guess, or maybe a little less, but since Lois and Clark.
Well, if you don't count Tom Welling.
How did we miss the Tom Welling finale suit? How do you like that?
It's basically the Superman.
I guess because you never saw the full thing, but yeah, it is, yeah. But yeah, like it's the main kickers here, like the really thick like boots. They look like Mass Effect body armor boots. No trunks, red belt, really just dusty color. Like this suit always looked like it had just been run over by a car. It's just covered in like dust. Like I don't know, like it looks like Tyler Hoechlin was like rolling around in the dirt before every take.
I'm just picturing like a Harvey Weinstein and Mrs. Doubtfire like handing him back the suit, and it's got like tire tracks over. It's like, next time, take care of it, would you?
Harvey Firestein, by the way.
Yeah, not Weinstein.
Not Harvey Weinstein.
Just for listeners, it is 10 to 1 in the morning here in Ireland. So.
Yeah, sure, yeah, and in Toronto it's considerably earlier. Anyway, yeah, like the weird dusty, filthy quality to it was always a drag. Like the S shield, like the red looks dirty, the yellow looks dusty and dirty, and the biggest issue is just like the weird over the shoulder cape things like clipped almost down to the S. I just that's a classic, just kind of like change for the sake of change. Somebody was just like, well, we can't just do the suit again. Like we've got to change something. And I think it looks bad. It's really dorky. It looks like a backpack sort of thing. If they actually connected to the S shield, so the S shield was like one piece with the cape that goes on, like I wouldn't like it, but at least that would be something. But as it is, yeah, this is just dumb. So like it's not as bad as a Superman return suit, but it is like just not a particularly appealing Superman suit for me, and I'd give it a 2.
Yeah, I really, really viscerally dislike this suit. I hate the look of it. I hate the boots. They're way too thick. I hate the padded nature of it. I think it looks strange without the trunks. I don't think it... he's a built... Tyler Hoechlin is a shredded dude. Like, he doesn't need any of this padding. That belt is way too thick. The cape is way too long. It always looks, like you said, Parker, it always looks dirty. The clasps over the shoulders just don't work. The yellow on the S is just always muted and dull, and like you don't get that bright, hopeful S shield. Like you get even, the scenes, whether they be in this suit or his subsequent suits where he rips open the shirt, you never get that pow factor that you got with Dean Cain and that that beautiful S shield. No, I really dislike this. Rob, where do you stand on this?
Yeah, I don't like this one either. I don't know what they were going for. I liken this to like Buzz Lightyear. Like the belt he has just looks like Buzz Lightyear's belt from Toy Story 2, and like it's a thing with belts. I think you notice this in the Schumacher Batman movies, that the belt like curves down. It's kind of like a V-shaped belt, and they do that in Man of Steel. They do it in Superman Returns, and they don't do it here. It's just like a normal like round the waist belt, and it just makes him look like an old man for some reason. I don't know what it is. It doesn't go with the curvature of the costume, and the later suits would do that, and they look better as a result. The other thing then, like, we're texturing everything, but then the S shield itself is just flat and 2-dimensional. It just stands up like a sore thumb. It doesn't fit him right. It looks baggy in some bits and not baggy in a good way. The blue looks like denim. The boots are bad. The cape clasps are bad. Like everything about it, just I have a lot of goodwill for this kind of version of Superman, and every time he showed up on those crossovers, it was great fun to see him there. And Tyler Hoechlin was perfectly good, but I just have no idea what they were going for and why this doesn't look better, because it just looks really bad. I'm sorry.
What are you giving it, Rob?
I actually think this is worse than the Superman Returns one. I'm going to give this a 1, guys. I'm really sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I actually agree. I think this is worse than the Superman Returns one. I don't like the Superman Returns one.
No.
But there's just something cheap and as soon as I saw it initially, I just really, really disliked it, and it's never grown on me.
I will say though, like, I hasten to use the word cheap because I feel like that's unfair in this situation, because it literally is cheaper than the Superman Returns one, and it was designed to be worn like for hours and hours and hours of the day, whereas the Superman Returns one, they were changing it every other scene. Like I remember back in the day we were talking about how like there'd be a different suit for when he had his arms forward compared to when he had his arms down by his side. Like that's how much money they had for that movie, whereas this was like, okay, you put on the suit at the start of the day and you're wearing it for the whole day, you know?
Yeah.
But even still, it's like, could they not have just made it look better?
So I'm a 1, you're a 1, Rob. Did you say 2, Parker, is it?
Yeah, I said 2. Yeah, because it's still the sort of thing where it's like it's fun. Also, I noticed the sleeves in this one are really long. Like they're curving up over the back of his hand for some reason, even though this is a very Clark Kent, changing out of a suit into this one is how he's introduced in that Supergirl episode. So it doesn't make any sense. You'd be able to see the sleeves, and the costume's too thick to roll them up. What are they thinking?
Now, next up, our third and final black Superman suit. It is the 2018 Tyler Hoechlin black suit from the Elseworlds crossover. Black matte fabric, less padded than the Supergirl suit, shiny quality, black S shield on silver metallic background, black cape and boots. Not sure who designed it, so I don't want to miscredit anybody. Parker, where do you stand on this one?
I think the over the shoulder cape clip things like somehow looks actually kind of cooler in the black version, but that's really just like it's unfair because it just doesn't look like anything to do with Superman at all. It looks like the collar's really high, like he's like a reverend almost. I think this one just looks like something out of the Matrix. Yeah, and not the birthing Matrix that Kal-El was sent to Earth in either. But yeah, like
the only thing to say about this suit is it is an alternate evil Superman.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I did not know that. Yeah. Okay, and that actually kind of makes it better. As an evil Superman costume, this is pretty good. I will actually kick that. I'll kick it up to like a 3. I generally don't like evil super. Like, so is this, what is it? Justice Lords from the other dimension?
Yeah, it's basically an alternate Earth. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I know it's not even Justice Lords. It's even more evil than that. He's like an actual conquering, like despotic monster Superman. Yeah.
I mean, for that, like, yeah, like it's a 3. It's just like it's hard to rate these things. But I guess like in terms of executing that concept, sure, 3. I think it does that better than the regular costume we just looked at did for regular Superman.
Rob?
I'm actually going to go 4 for this. I really like this. I think it really works as an evil Superman costume, and it's the only Superman costume ever where I actually like the collar. I think the regal quality just works for an evil version, and we didn't mention as well. He doesn't just wear this in the Elseworlds crossover. He also wears it in season 1 of Superman and Lois, which deals with like an alternate universe evil Superman a little bit as well. And yeah, I quite like the look of this one, and a lot of the design issues I have with the original Tyler Hoechlin blue and red one are similar here, but they just work for this. I think that it looks evil and alien and strange, and yeah, so I quite like this one. I'm going to give this one a 4.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add to that. I think it's a 4 as well. Yeah, I to be honest, like you said, Parker, for some reason, I think this kind of design of the suit just looks better in this color, you know. But again, it's meant to be this alternate evil conquering Superman. It suits him. Out of the 3, I think it's probably my favorite of the black suits. I gotta say. So we're back to Brandon Routh next. Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's basically the Kingdom Come, the television version of the Kingdom Come suit. Rich fabric with textured sheen, regal quality, deep blues and reds. S-shield is raised and red on a black background. Long cape in deep red. Black belt with gold buckle. Now, I'm just going to say it up front. Possibly the best Superman, one of the best Superman suits, if not the best Superman suit ever put to screen. I think this is absolutely beautiful. Love that design, and I really like, you know, the narrative for why they made the shield black, and you know the explanation for that in the show. I really liked. So Rob, we'll go with you first. What do you think of this?
Oh, I remember when this image came out, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, this looks better than he looked in the actual film. Like, it looks so beautiful. It's gorgeous. And like, I remember texting Parker at the time, like the belt buckle, the big, it's like a groin grappling belt buckle. It's like a gold doubloon of a thing. It's just so beautiful. And like, you know, I don't think this is absolutely perfect. I think the fake muscles, when you actually watch the crossover, the padding of the muscles can be a bit too noticeable at times. You can see it in some shots, but like, my God, like the amount of movie suits that have come out over the years where like you either have to defend them because you think they're interesting or you think they're going for something or whatever, or they're just bad. And then you see something like this, and you're like, guys, it's so simple. Like, why can't we just have something like this? You know, and it looks cool. Everyone agrees that it looks cool. Just do it like this. It's glorious. It's beautiful. Do it like this. It's perfect.
Parker, do you agree, or are you...
So completely agree. This was such a breath of fresh air. Like when the photo of this dropped during the fun of all the Crazy Crisis stuff, the fact that Brandon Routh would actually be playing Superman again, like all that was really fun. But like when that occurred, we were at a point where it had just been so long since there had been a suit without some big asterisk. Well, I mean, I guess depending on how you feel about the Henry Cavill suit, but the Henry Cavill suit was still like a big mainstream attempt to do something kind of different, right? This is kind of off of the Tyler Hoechlin suit, which like they couldn't even give us that with Tyler Hoechlin. It's like for TV Superman, this would have been such an opportunity to show Smallville how it was done and just do the classic Superman suit. They had to fuck it up and give him the weird shoulders and the dirty costume and everything, right? This would have been so easy. They had carte blanche to do whatever stupid shit they wanted with a Brandon Routh alternate universe Crisis Superman suit. Even like if it was Kingdom Come inspired, it just like I don't know how this one escaped that kind of foolishness. But just like, yep, it's just the Kingdom Come suit. All the proportions are right. The boots look great. The trunks are really big. Like height wise, you got the black belt with that great big gold belt buckle. Literally, the only sort of liberty they took with it is making the great big Kingdom Come S shield like a 3D plastic thing instead of just cloth, and it still looks great. Like this is basically exactly what I wanted from a movie costume in the 2000s. It just like it happens to have the Kingdom Come logo, but like I'm not sure. Is there going to be like the Brandon Routh kind of epilogue costume on this list, like with the yellow version of this?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't put. We mentioned it briefly in the notes. Robin mentioned it briefly in the notes, but no, we didn't. We didn't include that.
Yeah, because like there is a shot of Brandon Routh flying over Earth like Christopher Reeve wearing a version of this costume with the classic yellow S, and to me like that might actually be, for what little we see of it, like the best live action costume ever. So it's too bad it's not.
I'm really glad we left it off the list.
Yeah, but like you said, like I agree with you. Like the only, literally the only issue I have with this like is just that it's not the classic suit. It's the Kingdom Come suit. Like, but the Kingdom Come suit is a great variant. Like like Kingdom Come is borderline my favorite DC story ever. Certainly one of them. Certainly one of the most like influential for me. And this is just an incredible adaptation of that suit in live action with a little bit of textural flair to it. And just why could not they have done this in 2006? That would have been, even if they did this literal suit in 2006 with the black S, like just he's like, yeah, he comes back to Earth and finds out lots of people died when he was gone, and so he wears the Kingdom Come S in this one. That would have been something, and that kind of would have been cooler than the actual Superman Return suit. And anyway, yeah, love it. Like a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm 5 out of 5 too. Rob, are you the same?
Absolutely. 12 out of 5.
12 out of 5. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that he got the opportunity to come back and, put on a better suit and do this again.
So cool. Imagine if they'd given him a terrible costume the second time around.
the Joey Tribbiani suit. We're into the last three, guys. So third from the bottom, third from last is Tyler Hoechlin's Superman and Lois suit. Heavily padded, dark, almost battle-worn colours and feel, muted yellows, sculpted muscles with red belt, no trunks. Rob noted the S appears to be interchangeable on this suit. Sometimes it's clean and classic looking, and other times it's very dirty. I'll just bring it up here. I don't have much to say. I feel very similar to this suit as I do the original suit. Collar is way too high. Don't like the cape. Don't like the colours. The belt is a lot better. All the issues I have, that kind of drawn on six pack that this guy doesn't need. He's absolutely shredded. He's got the physique to pull off this role. Not a huge fan of this suit at all. Parker, what do you think of this?
Big improvement over the Supergirl one with the weird clip-on cape sort of thing, but like the big issue here I find, like the again, like the dull faded looking S. This suit in so many pictures, I know the S is like a physical piece of, like, it's like a 3D physical thing that's like on there, but it looks like when you buy like a screen printed onesie with the Superman logo like printed on it and stretching out and like looking like it's like a fake version of a 3D thing printed on, right? Like that's what it looks like, the fake shadowing. So like that isn't great, but and the collar's too high, way better, and like way better with the tuck in instead of the clips. The belt's kind of interesting. It's got kind of like a gold buckle with the red and no trunk. I don't know. This is a consummate 3 out of 5 Superman costume. It's got a high shame factor in that it's, again, like it's trying to just do a classic regular Superman, but it's a little too ashamed of how bold and sunny the regular costume is to do it. So it loses points for walking it back. So yeah, just it's a 3 if there ever was one.
I always feel like this one is a little bit more padded than the Supergirl one. Maybe I'm wrong, but like in close-up shots, he really looks like he's insulated in this thing. I'm just not a fan. Rob,
have you ever filmed in Vancouver at 5 o'clock in the morning in October?
No. To be fair, I have not. How Melissa Benoist did it in a skirt for so long, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Rob, where do you stand on this one? Slight improvement?
Yeah, I think it's a significant improvement over the Supergirl one for sure. I mentioned the belt earlier on. I think that it just accentuates his profile a lot better. I do agree with Parker about the S looking kind of two-dimensional, but that it's important to say that the costume did subtly change over the 4 seasons, and by season 4, it is just a big chunky three-dimensional S, and it looks a lot better. Now, you talked about the shame factor. I can't help but agree with that description. Like it does when you look at this, it's clear that they didn't want to go, full-fledged kind of colorful comic book accurate Superman, and that there was probably an element of like, well, what happens if someone lands on this channel and they see this? Are they going to be embarrassed? We have to make sure they're not embarrassed, so we have to make it darker, And when you get to season 4, like it's practically black. Like even though it is still technically the standard colors, like there's a shirt rip scene in season 4, and it looks like he's wearing the black suit, even though he isn't. Like it's really strange. So stuff like that, it does bother me. But by and large, like living with this costume for 4 years, I think it's solid enough. And like I get I get why they had to make certain concessions. Again, I have to stress, like, this is something that guy was wearing in Vancouver for 15 hours a day. They weren't able to change it out like they are with the Henry Cavill ones or the Brandon Routh ones. It had to be functional. It had to work on a TV set. So sometimes if the muscles look fake and padded, it's probably because of that, I think,
Good, excellent point, actually. I never even considered that.
So I think that is a big part of it, and that's why it doesn't really bother me that much. Like, it is a TV suit, and it's in a country that is a lot colder than like Dean Cain would have been. So I do, a lot of that is on the forefront of my mind, and yeah, I think it looks fine for this show and the world that they set up. I quite like it, so I'm going to give it a 3.
Excellent. Parker, what are you going to give it?
3. Yeah,
we're the same across the board in relation to it. Now, the last Tyler Hoechlin suit on the list, arguably, I think the best suit Tyler Hoechlin has ever worn, and arguably one of my favorite suits of all time, is the 2021 Fleischer suit from episode 11, season 1 of Superman and Lois. Obviously based on the Fleischer animated shorts suit. Loving homage, simple, classic look, smooth, light fabric, little padding, little modern texturing, red shield on black background, red belt with small gold buckle, cape attached under collar, light blue and vibrant reds, designed by Katrina McCarthy. Rob, where do you stand on Tyler Hoechlin's Fleischer suit?
Now, I think this is absolutely perfect, but I have to qualify that with it's absolutely perfect for me as a Superman fan, and I've been a Superman fan my whole life and all that. So for me, looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's gorgeous, that's perfect, I love it. But I go back to that shame factor thing that Parker was talking about a minute ago. I can totally appreciate how a CW executive looking at this picture would go, oh, I don't know about this, Like if someone lands on this channel and this guy's wearing this thing for more than 10 seconds, maybe they're going to change channels, So that's why I appreciate the changes they made for the main suit. But all of that aside, I think this is absolutely gorgeous. And if you look really, really closely at the logo, it's like a really felt, kind of like a soft logo. Like the black is almost like furry to touch, which it's just really, really nice. And yeah, like he just looks the business in it. Like he just absolutely looks like Superman. The specific shape of the S is so accurate to the Fleischer cartoons as well. Like I don't think anyone ever really talks about that. Like they got it so right in a way that they, you can imagine them getting it wrong, and they didn't. They got it so right. So yeah, no, it's a perfect score for me. I wish we'd seen it a lot more, as everyone else does. Yeah. But what little time we did spend with it was glorious, and I'm so grateful that it exists.
Parker, where do you stand on this?
Yeah, it's so cool. It's just all the like how great would have been if we'd gotten to see Dean Cain in something like this in some weird flashback like time, mixes Pitlick, turns everything into the 1940s, and like it anyway, it's just perfect. The whatever blue fabric is made of, this is the first sort of like non-weird basketball looking Superman costume fabric in a long time. Again, like if you picture this guy in like this simple fabric spandex type costume getting hit with tank shells and bullets and nothing's getting through it, like that's just such a cool image to me. And the so this costume has like the belt is like a dark red leather, a darker shade of red than the trunks it's going through, and then it's got the gold buckle. Something about that is just so cool and goes so well with like, because this has the shield with the black background and the gold border and the red S. So the different balance of colors and the black in there, it would somehow look weird to have like a solid yellow or gold belt, but I don't know. I love how the color balance works with the dark red belt, the gold buckle, and then anyway, this is awesome. This is a 5 out of 5. Obviously, like again, like if you gave this suit the classic red and yellow shield as a modern thing, it'd be just about perfect as well. I even really like the something about the high collar and the way the cape sits on the collar. I don't know, it's just really nice and sprightly looking, and I love it. 5 out of 5.
Yeah, and I'm the same, 5 out of 5. I think it's absolutely stunning. I love the material. I think he looks great in it. I mean, the image we're looking at here, he's put down the green car and he's walking over to the kid. He just looks like Superman, more so than I think he did in any of the other suits or incarnations. I can see, Rob, what you're saying. I could see how this suit wouldn't be suitable for 15-hour day long shoots, and it's I can completely understand that, but I think it's absolute perfection.
But also, if you're someone who isn't completely sold on this character and superheroes in general, and you saw this,
Yeah. I can see how someone could turn on the show, look at this, and go, "Oh, this is corny, or this is a kids thing, or whatever." Obviously, we have that underlying bias because we love those Fleischer animated shorts so much, and it's such a nice nod to the work and the previous generations that came before you as well, to bring that to the screen, and such a nice a thing to do for fans as well of the character. But yeah, 100% I get that. I absolutely get that. But still, it's 5 out of 5 for me. So we're on to the last one, guys. David Corenswet. We haven't seen it yet in live action as such, except for the trailer. David Corenswet, James Gunn Superman movie, due to release July of this year, 2025. I just noted here, vibrant colours, Kingdom Come style S shield but with yellow background, long cape attaches at shoulders, red trunks and yellow belt, heavily padded with new 52 era lines, yellow shield on cape, designed by Krista L. O'Connell. Parker, where do you stand on David Corenswet's suit? I know it was very divisive when it came out initially and people saw the images of it first, and obviously then the trailer came out as well. What do you think of it?
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be hard, to tell until we actually see the movie and context and everything. And it's a mixed bag right now. I think like the main thing it's got going for it is just the colors. It's like again, that's what a lot of it comes down to for me. And this is just like bright red, yellow, blue. That looks great. Other than that, like I really still don't like the high collar. I like both color wise. I don't like the cape like sort of wrapping around this blue collar, and then it's like then you've got blue again till you get to his neck, and it's that just doesn't work for me. Especially right now. Also, it's like Homelander is a very iconic character right now. Homelander has that collar. Why would you make Superman look even more like Homelander? This is an opportunity to set them apart. I'm sure for a lot of people, like there's a percentage of people in this world who don't even realize that Superman and Homelander are different characters, like people who are casual fans and not watching any of it. So yeah, every Photoshop I've seen without the collar looks instantly way better. So yeah, the collar is a big knock against it. I don't really like the big thick fabric. Like it's again, like we'll see in the context of the film, but again, like this is a very Clark Kenty Superman movie from the looks of it, thank goodness. And this does not, under any circumstances, look like a costume that could fit under a Clark Kent suit. Although, like the All-Star Superman factor, that might be why they went with this bulkier costume, and certainly a bulkier, baggier Clark Kent. So that's kind of cool, and we'll see in the film. I like the square plastic toy kind of looking belt. The new design of the S shield, like it's weird they're doing the Kingdom Come S shield, but it looks really cool. The Kingdom Come S with the yellow patches, like again, it looks like an alien glyph. It doesn't look as friendly or smiley as the Dean Cain or Henry Cavill or Christopher Reeve ones, but it doesn't look aggressive and weird either. So yeah, the S shield's cool. And thank goodness this is the first time in years and years we've had the gold S back on the cape. So like instant point. That's actually, I would say this is a 3 overall for me, just because I don't know, some of the proportions look dorky, the bulkiness we'll have to see in the film, but the gold S on the cape kicks it up to a 4. And I also just like I was really down on the Robert Pattinson bat suit until that film came out. For a lot of the same reasons, I just thought it looked dorky and bulky and ridiculous. And then all those things, like the film came out and it's like, yeah, we know that's the point. You know, like it wasn't a thing. Like the Superman Returns costume, I feel like isn't in on the joke of how awful it looks. The Robert Pattinson bat suit is, and it makes it cooler. It's like, yeah, I have to wear this cumbersome impractical suit to actually be bulletproof, and he just walks around like looking like a junkyard heap in it, and it just makes it so cool and suits that awkward, self-conscious version of the character so well. It could absolutely be the same thing in this, where it's this kind of romper pajama looking football suit, and that could be part of the fun. And I'm optimistic that might actually be the case for this. So yeah, I'm optimistic about it. 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I think following on from that, like context is key, and we don't have the context for this costume yet. I think it being Kryptonian or made by Martha is still a big question mark where this costume is concerned, and I really do think it could go either way. And I feel like that will actually heavily impact my final decision on it. But like, yeah, to look at it, I am a bit mixed on it. I think initially I was taken in by the color of it, but I think just the shape of it and definitely the collar, just every single time, like I just need that exposed neckline for it to be a Superman suit. If I don't have that, it just instantly takes me out of it a little bit. I don't mind the bagginess. I think, as Parker said, it is evocative of All-Star. Not 100% sold on that chunky Snickers looking belt.
Rob, you're not you when you're hungry.
Yeah. So, like, I wouldn't say I dislike it, and I think the colors are a big thing. The yellow S is a big thing, and I do love that Kingdom Come logo. I said this before. There was a site in the 90s called Superman5.com where they were just posting news about what the 5th movie was going to be. And the logo they used for that site was literally this logo. Like, it was the Kingdom Come logo, but with yellow instead of black. And I remember even as a kid thinking, that's so cool. I hope they put that in the movie. And now it is a movie, and so that's really, really cool. So I don't love it, but I'm on board with it. So I'm going to go 3.
Yeah, I'm not going to add much more. Things I like about it are very simple. I love the vibrant colors. I love the S shield. I'm not sold on the padded nature of it. I'm not sold on the over stylized lines going through it. I hate the high collar. I don't like the way the cape attaches at the shoulders. I do love the fact that they brought back in the yellow S. The yellow S shield on the back of the cape. I love that. It remains to be seen what the final product will look like on screen when we actually see the film. But I'm straight down the middle with you guys for now with a 3. Yeah, so the final tally, Kryptonite Couture, 1 out of 5 stars. We have David Wilson's 1975 special TV special suit, Tyler Hoechlin's Supergirl suit. 2 out of 5 stars, the mild mannered threads. We have the Superman Returns full suit proper and the Justice League black suit. Truth, Justice and Serviceable Style, 3 out of 5 stars. We have David Cornsweet. We have the World Fair suit, Ray Middleton. We have the George Reeves colour suit, the Tyler Hoechlin Superman and Lois suit, the Dean Cain pilot suit, the Dean Cain black suit, the Batman v Superman Henry Cavill suit, the Superman Returns pod suit. The 4 out of 5 stars, House of Elegance. We've got the Tyler Hoechlin black suit, the Kirk Allen suit, the Bob Holliday musical suit from 1966, the George Reeves black and white suit, the Man of Steel suit, and the Gerard... No, that can be right. Oh, yes, the Gerard Christopher Superboy suit from the Superboy TV show. And the 5 out of 5's Absolute Superman. We've got the Christopher Reeve suit. John Haynes Newton makes the cut with his Superboy suit from season 1. An honourable mention, we'll say honourable mention to the Joey Tribbiani suit. We've got the Dean Cain, Lois and Clark suit. The Nick Cage classic suit. Probably the surprise of all the ones we spoke about today. I really didn't think that we'd all agree on that, putting that number 5. And finally, the Brandon Routh Kingdom Come suit and the Tyler Hoechlin Fleischer suit. So that's all of them, guys. Parker, thank you so much for giving up so much of your time to help us go through this list and then go through everything with us. Really appreciate it, man. It was great to finally meet you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for letting me go on and on this show. But yeah, no, this is super fun. Like to sum up in like 2 sentences what Rob has heard me articulate in different ways for the last 20 years, like I give up time to do literally anything else in my entire life other than talk about Superman and like Batman, Spider-Man, and a few other things. But my whole life, especially as an adult, is basically just a struggle to like do everything other than the natural instinct of just thinking about, talking about, and consuming Superman media all the time. So this is like going straight into a crack den for me and just shooting up. And it's great to get to do that every once in a while. I could do this every single day, all day.
2 things I just want to say to you in closing. Number 1, again, thanks a million for coming on, obviously. Number 2, I just want to say your dad sounded like he was a great guy. I just really thrilled that was a great experience for him to bring you up and following this. And
that he was.
Yeah, you're very lucky. Rob?
I am actually in the middle of planning my wedding for next year, and I am in need of a best man. Parker, would you like to be the best man on my wedding?
Well, absolutely. Man. So this is the first time I've ever been asked to be I've been a groomsman 4 or 5 times by now. I've never been a best man before, and I didn't know if I ever would be. Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you so much. It is crazy to think of us first trading messages on the Superman homepage forum like 20 years ago. And so I'll be there. Wow.
What a great way to end the episode. I'm so happy you two were in love.
Good Lord. Yeah. Have you cleared this with Saoirse?
Yeah. And I told her I was going to do this. She was like, "Are you sure he'll appreciate that?" I was like, "Yeah, he'll appreciate that."
I appreciate it, man.
Everybody, we will post the final tally on the Inside All-Star Superfan Facebook group. Remember, it's at All-Star Superfan on Facebook and Twitter, at allstarsuperpod@gmail.com. If you want to send us an email or a voice note, we're on BLUESKY, we're on Threads. And Rob, do you want to take us out?
So for anyone who has battled all the way to the end, stay safe, stay super, and take care.
Actually, wait, I wasn't sure when to cut in with this, but Rob, would you do me the honor of continuing to host the Dick Tracy Minute podcast with me, because I've just finished editing, or just about finished editing, minute 9, and very keen to bring it back. We've got another one in the hopper to edit, but the Dick Tracy Minute, you heard it here first on the airwaves, folks, is coming back.
I'm on my way.
Excellent. And Alan, we'd love to have you on that as well. We're in the guest minute now. We've had Connell on as our first guest in the last couple minutes. And we need to keep that going. So yeah.
I'll wear my Dick Tracy watch.
Oh yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, Dick Tracy Minute is a podcast where we go through the film, the 1990 Warren Beatty Dick Tracy movie, minute by minute. So every single episode of the podcast covers 1 minute of the movie. So it's hardcore stuff.
To be fair, it was probably shorter than this episode.
It probably was.
On that note, guys, everybody take care, stay safe, stay super. See you again. Bye-bye.